So it is Friday, and we're gonna talk a little bit about the Rams, obviously, and the state of the offensive line. And to no one's surprise, we have more injuries, unfortunately, which it seems to be the theme of 2022. That injury bug just will not let go, will it? Well, let's go ahead and get into this. Brian Allen and David Edwards are both ruled out versus the Saints. David Edward, as at one point looked like he might have been coming back, but it looks like that he is now out. So let's just go ahead and jump right into this. Just when it seemed like the Rams' offensive line was starting to get healthy, with Brian Allen and Coleman Shelton returning, the group took two steps back, and that's just our season in a nutshell. Pretty much, that's what our season has been like. Sean McVay announced on Friday that both Allen and David Edwards have been ruled out for Sunday's game against the Saints. Brian Allen had surgery on his thumb and had some swelling in his knee, and so he won't play against New Orleans. The knee has bothered him most of the year, keeping him on the injury report the last 3 weeks since he returned. And I think he jacked it up, I think, in that first game against the Bills, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but it was pretty early, which is unfortunate because I have to give Brian some credit because it's playing with a bum knee is not easy, and Brian has played with some injuries, quite a few injuries throughout his career, and I have to respect him for it. Yes, I have been quite critical of Brian on a number of occasions, and that's just how I feel about it. But I do have to say, I have to give him some respect in terms of him playing through injuries. He's not the only one, but he just always seems to be playing. He never really seems to be 100%. So I gotta give it up to him for that. But unfortunately, it looks like, with the surgery to his thumb and the swelling to his knee, he will not be playing this Sunday, which is unfortunate. Now, David Edwards was designated to return from IR this week after missing time with a concussion, but McVay said he suffered a setback and will not play on Sunday, which is unfortunate because that now leaves the Rams without two of their three starting interior linemen again. McVay said the team is still deciding how the starting offensive line will look against the Saints. Ode Abouchier, Shelton, Bobby Evans are all likely to be consideration to start. Matt Skura is an option. So that is a kick in the teeth, as they say. And, a little too early for that. And we're going to go ahead and take a look. The Rams have only 6 healthy linemen for Week 11. Who will be the starters? So once again, the Rams are having to play musical linemen, all right? They're going to have to just, every week they just having to put in a new lineman in each position somewhere, somehow. It's like you go through Week 1, it's a different group. Week 2 is a different group, so on and so forth. It has, I don't know what the Rams did. I don't know what the Rams did different this past offseason, or if they did something to upset the football gods or something. I just don't know. Pardon me. I just don't know what the issue is and why they have been plagued with so many injuries this year. I don't know if they're maybe not stretching enough, or if maybe they're not. I don't know if it's just a look of the draw, or if maybe they're not going hard enough in practice during training camp, and when they get into the games, they kind of get shell shocked, and that opens up a bigger risk for injuries, which can happen. I'm not saying it is. I don't know. I'm just speculating. I'm just a fan who is speculating because this shit is crazy. The amount of injuries that we've seen this year. Okay? It is I just don't I just don't know, man. It's nuts, but let's go ahead and get into it here. Sean McVay is beginning to run out of words to describe the Rams' never-ending injuries. Yep, just like we were just talking about, particularly along the offensive line. It's gotten to the point where it's almost unbelievable how many players they've cycled through up front. Yep, exactly. Starting 9 different combinations in their first 9 games. I'm gonna say that again. The Rams have started 9 different combinations in their first 9 games. That's 100% of the games this season. Okay, it doesn't get any higher than that. Okay, this is some bullshit. I don't know what, and this is no fault of Sean. This is no fault of the players, no fault of the Rams. It's just, I don't know what's going on here. I don't know why they have been plagued with so many injuries, man. It's just our year. I said it in my last video. It's every year, they're just, if you notice, there's always a small handful of teams, okay, that just get bit by the injury bug, get plagued with injuries, okay? Every team in the NFL has to deal with injuries, but there are always a select few who just get the S end of the stick, as I like to say. And they just have just a plethora of injuries that affect them so much that they're basically just trying to keep their heads above water the entire season. And unfortunately, in 2022, the Rams seem to be one of those teams, and it's unfortunate. But they'll go 10 for 10 on Jesus Christ. Okay, yeah, 10 for 10 on Sunday when they visit the Saints too. Of course they will. As we were just saying, Brian Allen and David Edwards are out. And Chandler Brewer, and Alaric Jackson are both on IR this week too. And we are dangerously thin on the O-line. And currently we have just 6 healthy offensive linemen on the 53-man roster. Considering 5 of them will be starters, that's obviously not enough to have active on game day. That's crazy, dude. I don't think I've seen a situation like this ever in my lifetime as a Rams fan. I don't know if it's ever gotten this bad injury-wise. I've been watching the Rams for a long time. You know, suppose I'm relatively young, you know, I guess. Been watching them since the late 90s. And since then, you know, I haven't quite seen anything like this that I can remember off the top of my head anyway. And they're definitely in a pickle. Definitely in a pickle. Let's go over to the linemen that they have. They have Ty Neshke. Remember that? The guy we signed from the Cowboys practice squad. I am intrigued about him. I thought he played decent for his first game action last we saw. Okay, Ty Neshke. And then we have Coleman Shelton, who I believe is actually one of the better O-linemen that we have. And perhaps we can consider putting him at the center position. I don't know. We'll get to that in a second. Bobby Evans, who just, you know, you can just put him on the bench, all right? And but look, man, I don't want to be a dick to Bobby, but God dang it, man. Turnstile. Like, we cannot have that. Okay? And I've said my piece, and that's about it. Ode Abouchier, Matt Skura, and Rob Havenstein. The question is now how the Rams will deploy 5 of those 6 players. Very good question. What we know is that Neshke will start at left tackle and Havenstein will be at right tackle. I agree. Evans and Abouchier can play either guard spot, while Shelton and Skura have experience at center and guard. Okay. Okay. And this is the lineup that that they have here on Rams Wire, a great site. I really like Rams Wire, and if you're a Rams fan, I recommend going there. For the latest Rams news, they are on top of it, and it's I love going. I pretty much go there every day. That in tertial times just to read through like the Rams stuff while I'm at work, So, but anyway, they have at the left tackle spot they have Neshke. At the left guard spot they have Coleman Shelton. At the center position they have Matt Skura. At the right guard position they have Abouchier, and the right tackle position they have Havenstein. I think that's considering the people that we have. I think that's solid, and I would not be opposed to that. I think I think I think that would be good. I don't know how good Skura is. I haven't seen. We obviously haven't seen him in game action, but you know, yeah. Because if you put Shelton at center, I actually think Shelton would be better at center. But the thing is, who would Skura can't play left guard, and we would have to put Bobby Evans in at guard. So no, yeah. I think this would be the best combination. And continuing with the article, at the very least, that seems to be the best combination of five starting linemen this week, leaving Evans on the bench as a backup guard and tackle. Shelton and Skura could be swapped to, yeah, I mean, I don't know Skura's history at guard though, but Abouchier's best spot is right guard. Sweet, all right. If that's his best spot, let's go ahead and leave him there. Then don't want to play around with that. After deciding who will start, the Rams will need to determine which players from the practice squad could be promoted, because there's no shot they're playing on Sunday with only 6 active linemen. Yes, so they definitely need to promote somebody just to add some depth in case of an emergency, which is already kind of an emergency, but still, you got to have the depth there in case some shit happens during the game. Max Percher still needs a lot more time to develop. Yeah, he didn't look that great in the NFL's International Pathway Program, so he probably won't get called up. Okay, yeah, Max Percher's in the okay. Jeremiah Cologne, who played a few games earlier this year at center, can play guard and center. Which is I could see the Rams will probably promote him, to be honest with you, since he's actually had some game experience this year. And I thought he did okay for considering, his he's like what, a third stringer. He actually started a game. He's not that good, but considering what's going on, he's all right. I actually think the dude was like supposed to be a police officer, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think he was in the academy before he joined the Rams, so that's pretty cool. While AJ Akuri is a traditional tackle, and you know what, I gotta say, I would like to see him. He is a big man, Michigan State Spartan, and I'm curious if he's any good. And I just feel like that if there's a time to maybe evaluate some of these newer, because the guy's a rookie, to evaluate some of these depth guys to see what you have in them, I feel like now would be the time. Unfortunately, with all these injuries that we have, I'm not saying we're giving up on the season, but I am saying, the odds are not that great that we will play past the season finale. There is still a chance, but I just feel like this, if there's a time to do it, now would be a time to see if we have anything with our depth pieces. It should be assumed that Cologne and Akuri will be promoted. I'd be cool with that. Giving the Rams 8 healthy linemen. It's far from an ideal situation, but at this point, they won't find any better options in free agent, and the trade deadline has already passed. And yes, absolutely. Yes. The reality is, it's just we have what we have, and we are just gonna have to find a way to 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 play with the people we have. We can't get any more trades. We're not going to be signing anyone else. We can't upgrade the position this season. So we are SOL in that regards, and we're just going to have to make it work. And we'll see. We'll see. But the Rams did sign. They did sign a tackle, Zachary Thomas, to the active roster. And the team announced Friday, tackle Zachary Thomas has been signed to the active roster. Thomas was a 6th-round pick by the Bears this year, going 186 overall at San Diego State. He was waived by the Bears in August and then signed to the practice squad. Went to Carlsbad High School, and so the guy's from California, okay, making him a homecoming. Making this a homecoming for the young offensive tackle. And the man is 6'5", 308, and has the size to either play tackle or guard. I do like that. It is something I have been really. It's something I've wished for several years now. That the Rams, the Rams like to do a lot of zone running, and I've always wanted to Rams to draft really big, powerful maulers in the offensive line position, and I feel like they maybe could have done better in that department. But like I said, I'm a fan. I'm not saying I could do any better. Hell, I just like to see a mean, nasty offensive line, and on my football team, because that's important to any championship caliber football team. You need your line of scrimmage. You need to win the line of scrimmage, and you need to be going into these games confident that you can win the battle at the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. And and I just don't feel confident that we can win the line of scrimmage for a while now. And the more important than that, Sean and the offense and the Rams clearly don't feel confident that they can win the line of scrimmage either. And that affects the play calling. That affects their ability to attack deep, because I know for a fact Sean wants to attack deep, and I want Sean to attack deep, but he cannot do this with how our offensive line has been performing. Matthew cannot make the throws because Matthew, as good as he is, cannot make these deep throws if he's getting chased around like seconds after the ball is snapped. Okay? They break the line immediately, man. It's something we really, really need to work on this offseason. Okay, that needs to be priority A, as Les likes to say. And a lot of it is injuries, and I'm not saying the Rams have not been addressing the offensive line, because the reality is they've actually drafted a lot of offensive linemen. They have, but it's just a matter of drafting, ones that will work for you. Now, I won't get off into too much of a tangent, because we got Logan Bruss and we got a bunch of people that just kind of got put on IR. It's unfortunate. It's just bad luck. It's really bad luck. But continuing on, it's unclear which position the Rams project him at, but they currently list him at tackle, so give some much needed depth up front. So, I gotta be honest, I don't know how good this guy is, but he's a big man, so welcome to the team. And I imagine he is just going to be a depth piece for an emergency situation during the Saints game. So, that's, once again, the Rams, on top of having the game plan for the Saints, are having to reshuffle their offensive line. And that just makes life so much difficult, because the team has been playing from behind the entire season. I just feel like they've been really off center. It's just they just haven't been settled. They haven't planted their feet. It's just always been something this year. And it is what it is. Like we were just saying, it's our year, the luck of the draw. We have been bit by the injury bug, and it sucks, man. It sucks, but it is what it is, man. We got to get through it. So, but I'm gonna end this video on some good news because I like good news, right? You know, everyone likes good news, and despite the plethora of injuries, Matthew Stafford and Great Gaines are good to go versus the Saints. So, yay! They're coming back. They're coming back, y'all. Our starting quarterback and Great Gaines, who is a hell of a defensive lineman, will be playing against the Saints. So we're going to go ahead and actually take a look at this injury report because there's a few things to touch on here too as well. Because the Saints are apparently dealing with a whole bunch of injuries themselves. And on the final injury report of the week, Rams ruled out 2 players, which we just talked about, Brian Allen and David Edwards. And let's see here. There is more to that table. Travian Howard is out too as well. That is unfortunate. Ashawn Robinson and John Wolford are questionable. That is a bitch. Ashawn Robinson hasn't practiced all week due to an illness, and Wolford has a neck injury, which sucks. He returned to practice Friday. David Edwards is out, as we were just talking about. But Matthew Stafford and Greg Gaines are both good to go. Neither player carries an injury designation into Sunday's game, which is a great sign for both of them. So, listen, we gotta take our victories when we can take them. Okay, we've been ravaged by injuries, so you know you don't want to be doom and gloom 24/7. All right. The Saints ruled out 7 players: Marcus Davenport, Cameron Jordan being the big one, Mark Ingram. This will be the first time Jordan first missed a game due to injury in his 12-year career. That actually helps us out a lot because Cameron Jordan is a hell of a player, and that's good news for hopefully it's not anything serious, man, but that's good for us. But also Marshawn Lattimore, Pete Werner are also out. Starting guard Andrews Pete is questionable with a tricep injury. Okay. So here's our laundry list of people here. As you can see, that Stafford has been a full participant throughout the week. That is a very good sign and generally means that he's good to go. And where is my man Greg Gaines? He was full the last 2 days, so it's looking good. Looking good. So, I mean, that's going to be it for now. It's going to be interesting to see who the Rams decide to trot out there as their starting offensive line for this week, and going to be interesting to see how they play. It's unfortunate that they have to do this, but it's, damn, man. Damn. It's just, it is what it is, but we are getting Stafford back, so that's great news. I'm a big fan of John Wolford, man, but boy, I gotta tell you, man, it will be a welcome sight to see Matthew Stafford again. For sure, man. And Greg Gaines, I'm a big fan of Greg Gaines too, man. That guy's very athletic for a defensive tackle. So those are some good news. That's some good news there. And as far as the Saints are concerned, I actually think we can win this game. You know what? I think we can win. The Saints have a lot of injuries themselves. I think we can play well against Dalton with our defense. Despite, I just please, Raheem, just mix it up, okay? You can do your soft zone coverage, but just all I'm asking is to just not do that 100% of the time, Raheem, okay? Please, Raheem, okay? Just switch things up a little bit, okay? Just switch it up a little bit throughout the game. That's all I'm asking. Okay? That's all I'm asking. If we can do that, I think we can shut down Andy Dalton and the Saints. With Stafford back, we should see increased play at the quarterback position. And with Cup gone, unfortunately, we may start to see. I predict Ben Skoranek will have a big day. Stafford really liked him. Higbee, Stafford really likes throwing to him. Ashawn Robinson, this is a good opportunity to kind of build a chemistry with Ashawn Robinson. I think I would like to see us get him more involved. Kyren Williams, I want to see him play a lot more at the running back position. I feel like he is spark that the team could really use. And I think I would like to see him get some carries, and Henderson and Akers too. But get Williams in there, man. We got to get Williams some carries. And yeah, man, we'll just see what happens. We'll see what happens. I think once again it will be a ugly game. I think there will be a lot of punts, unfortunately, on both sides. So it'll be one of those kind of rough games to watch. But I feel like if we play smart and with not a lot of penalties, and Lord willing, we don't have any more injuries, I think we can get this. I do. I think we can get this, and we can get to 4-5. That's all I'm worried about. That's all I'm worried about right now is just getting to 4-5. Just winning against the Saints. That's it. That's it. But that's going to be it for right now. I will catch you guys on the next one. And as always, go Rams.